This forecast is for Aries and for everyone with an ascendant in Aries. Of course, it's better to read your horoscope knowing your ascendant. For this, you'll need your birth time, and on any astrology website, you can calculate your chart and see where your ascendant is located. So, this forecast is mainly for Aries by ascendant, but if you're an Aries by sun sign, you can listen to it too. For all signs, the period from the end of March to April is very intense, but Aries may feel it especially. One of the main events is, of course, the solar eclipse and new moon in Aries. All of this will happen on March 29-30, meaning the end of March and the beginning of April will be very intense. This is a global reboot of the personality for Aries. There may be sudden realizations and a loosening of old ties, the desire to move in a new direction. A new 18-year cycle begins for you, related to your personal growth. An eclipse occurs when the moon covers the sun, creating a reset effect of energy. This is a period of ending the old and beginning the new, and its influence can be felt for 6 months after the event. During this period, you might suddenly want to change your image, switch up your hairstyle, or mannerisms. You'll feel it's time to break free from old thought patterns. You will decide to take on more leadership in your life. Allow yourself to transform, but don't rush into decisions until you understand their true reasons. Eclipses always bring events that help us move forward. You might make a final decision about changing jobs, moving, or personal relationships. External circumstances will push you onto a new path. You'll feel like you're being literally thrown into a new stage of life. You realize that your old desires no longer align with who you are. Trust this process, even if the changes seem abrupt. On the other hand, you might feel a surge of energy, motivation, and even a sense of destiny about what's happening. This is a great time to start a new project, business, or ambitious goal, to reassess your desires and priorities, and to take initiative, especially regarding personal development. Remember that the influence of eclipses lasts for 6 months. This is a huge energetic shift that will set the tone for your entire life for the foreseeable future. If you feel ready for new horizons, this is your chance. But remember, the universe never takes away what you truly need. The next important astrological aspect is Neptune entering Aries, which will happen on March 30th. This aspect is also long-lasting. It's not quick, but Aries will likely feel it, especially since it will be passing through their ascendant. You'll have a sense of a blurred future. It's hard to understand which way to go. Intuition is heightened, but so is the risk of delusions, self-deception, and some utopian ideas. This is a period of spiritual searching, when it's important to figure out what is real for you and what is an illusion. The last time this astrological event occurred was over 150 years ago, in 1861. This has triggered radical changes in the world. And now we stand on the brink of a new, global, and personal spiritual awakening. Neptune is the planet of illusions, inspiration, spirituality, dreams, creativity, mysticism, and the collective unconscious. It also governs deception, self-deception, idealism, and the blurred lines between reality and fantasy. When Neptune enters Aries, it takes on a new energy of initiative, determination, and inner rebirth. How can this transition affect you? You might feel an inner breath towards new life paths, starting to explore your spirituality more deeply, but with a more active, even combative approach. You'll feel a desire to live in accordance with your highest ideals. Neptune is the planet of fog, while Aries is the sign of straightforwardness. Historically, when Neptune entered Aries, the world saw new philosophies, spiritual movements, and revolutionary changes in society. There was a surge of individualism and new forms of leadership. You can also become part of this wave, create something new, inspire others, or maybe even find your life path. So during this period, be honest with yourself. Which dreams are truly yours and which ones have been imposed on you by society? Look for a balance between intuition and logic. Inspiration is powerful, but it's important not to lose touch with reality. Use creativity as a tool for transformation. Draw, write, create. This will help you express your feelings. So Neptune in Aries, which will enter your sign, March 30th, opens a new era of spiritual and personal growth. This will be a 14-year cycle that will help you gain true inner strength, break down false beliefs, and start living in accordance with your highest ideals. Now let's talk about Venus, which was retrograde from March 1 and will be retrograde until April 12. During Venus retrograde, it makes us reassess our relationships, self-esteem, and financial matters. Retrograde Venus is not a time for action, but a time for inner work. It activated your 12th and 1st houses, which intensified deep reflections on yourself and your desires. So, from the 1st to the 12th, Venus is in the 12th house. This is the house of secrets, karmic lessons, and the house of completion. This is your past intuition, some hidden processes, and the need for liberation. During this time, some unresolved relationships might have come to the surface, maybe some secret, unfinished relationships, unexpected meetings with ex-partners. It was important to reassess your emotional attachments. And which relationships truly make you happy? During this period, you may have experienced some uncertainty, doubt, or maybe even a feeling of loneliness. But after April 12th, when Venus leaves your 12th house and enters your 1st house, the situation becomes clearer. Your confidence is rising, you feel more attractive, more charismatic, and even people see you a little differently. Are you ready to reassess your relationships in your surroundings? You might want to refresh your style, image, and appearance. Make the most of this period for self-expression, but please don't go back to toxic connections. Venus can also influence finances. During Venus retrograde, there may have been delays in finances, a need to reassess your budget and the return old debts, for example, and unexpected bills or payments that you have already forgotten about. There's definitely a feeling that some expenses were pointless, but after April 12th, the financial situation will stabilize and new opportunities will arise. How can Venus influence your finances when it moves into the 1st house? Well, first of all, it's about attracting finances through personal efforts, successful negotiations, an increase in income, and a boost in self-esteem will also impact your earnings. You'll start to understand your worth. You might see new sources of income emerging, especially through creativity, beauty, fashion, and services. Financial and personal prospects will start to improve. The most important thing is not to waste money, but also not to miss out on new opportunities. On April 3rd, there will be a conjunction of Venus, retrograde Mercury, and the North Node in your 12th house. These are fateful meetings, some karmic lessons, and be careful, the revelation of secrets. This is one of the most mystical and fateful conjunctions of the month, which can bring deep insights, unexpected encounters, returns of people from the past, and the revelation of secrets that will change your perception of reality. Venus is the planet of love, relationships, beauty, finances, and pleasures. At 12 and 0, in the 15th house, it makes us reevaluate our feelings, seek the truth in love and material matters, and become aware of our hidden desires. Here we have retrograde Mercury, the planet of thoughts, communication, information. In retrograde motion, it brings us back to unresolved issues, prompting us to rethink the past, decisions, and relationships. Both planets are conjunct with the North Node, which is a karmic point, indicating the inevitable development of fate. It shows us where life is leading us, what lessons we need to learn. And this conjunction, on April 3rd, this happens in the 12th house, the most mysterious house of the horoscope, associated with secrets, hidden processes, karma, various completions, and our inner world. Together, these three elements create a moment of fateful realizations, unexpected, the need to let go of what has already outlived its usefulness. Again, someone from the past may suddenly appear in your life. an ex-partner, an old friend, or someone with whom you have some unresolved issues. This won't just be a coincidence. This meeting carries an important lesson. You need to figure out whether it's worth moving forward together or if it's finally time to part ways for good. Perhaps it's about mysteries, secrets, or hidden relationships like a crush that no one knows about, or a romance that's kept under wraps. If the past is simply knocking at your door, take a close look at why it has returned. This is a chance for healing or perhaps a chance for a final closure of relationships. But also for you, it could be a sudden revelation. You may discover information that was previously hidden from you. For example, about relationships, work, Aries, and money. Inner realizations can be deep and even shocking, as if you're finally seeing reality without illusions. If something has been hidden from you, it will come to the surface now. Be ready for true insights that can change your perception. Even if the truth is difficult, it will set you free. Since Venus is involved in this conjunction, there may be unexpected expenses, or situations related to debts, inheritance, fine, and payments. Some old financial matters may remind you of themselves again. For example, a debt that you forgot about, or a financial issue that needs to be revisited. Don't rush into financial decisions. Venus and Mercury in retrograde can create confusion. Be careful with money and double-check your financial information twice during this period. So, this is a time for deep self-discovery, working with the subconscious. Awareness of hidden fears and blocks. You might decide to end something in your life, like toxic relationships, old grievances, or unfinished business. Allow yourself this reset. The 12th house is the house of endings, and if something is leaving, it means you no longer need it. So don't be afraid of the past. It comes back for you to realize it, not to get stuck in it. Pay attention to signs of fate, random encounters, dreams. Even some intuitive realizations can carry important information. So the conclusion is that this conjunction of retrograde Venus, Mercury, and the North Node in the 12th house on April 3rd is a point of no return. You will see the truth, uncover secrets, and close old cycles. After this day, you won't be the same anymore, but this is exactly how a new chapter in your life begins. On April 7th, the Venus conjoins Saturn, also in your 12th house. There may be some restrictions in romantic and financial matters, some serious but necessary decisions in love. This will also be a karmic test. If relationships or projects don't have a solid foundation, they may come to an end. Don't expect ease from this aspect. Saturn is never easy. The best thing you can do is take responsibility for your feelings and finances. On April 12th, the Sun conjoins Chiron, also in your first house. What can this conjunction bring? It's about healing old wounds, again working on self-esteem and some personal growth. Chiron symbolizes deep emotional wounds and the paths to their healing. When the Sun conjoins it, in your sign in your first house, this may manifest as a feeling of some vulnerability. Some old emotional wounds may resurface. You may come to understand your inner potential through overcoming difficulties. You might show some of your leadership qualities, despite any doubts. During this period, don't be afraid to look at your weaknesses. Now you can transform past pain into strength and self-confidence. On April 13th, there will be a full moon in Libra, in your 7th house of relationships. This full moon will shed light on the themes of balancing personal interests and interactions with others. If you've had conflicts in your partnership, they may reach their peak. You may decide to end or take your personal and business relationships to a new level. This is also an important moment to realize which connections bring you harmony and which ones do the opposite. On this day and around this day, be honest with yourself. If relationships require balance, this is a good time for an open conversation. On April 14th, Saturn conjoins the North Node in Pisces in your 12th house. As you can see, your 12th house is very active this month. Saturn is the planet of structure, of limitations and lessons. The North Node indicates the direction of our destiny, and their conjunction in the 12th house may bring emotional challenges. You may need to let go of old beliefs or fears. There will be some kind of completion of a long phase. This could even be an internal farewell to the past and an understanding of karmic lessons. Are there any situations that are repeating themselves right now? You will realize their true meaning. Trust the process. Right now, long-term changes are being set in motion that will become clear later. On April 16th, Mercury enters Aries, your first house. Clarity of thought will emerge, confidence in your words. After a long period of retrograde Mercury and confusion in thoughts, the moment of clarity and decisiveness arrives. It will be easier for you to express your ideas. Resolving issues that have been in limbo will speed up. You may feel a desire to speak directly and openly. This is a great time for negotiations, presentations, and new projects. The main thing is not to be too harsh in communication. On April 18th, Mars enters the sign of Leo, and this is your fifth house. What can you expect? Activity beyond passion, death, and some beyond leadership ambitions will awaken. Mars is your ruling planet, and its transition into the sign of Leo will give you energy, determination, and a desire to succeed. You'll feel a surge of motivation, especially in creativity, love, and self-expression. Perhaps some bold decisions and a drive towards your calling. Well, there might also be a new romance and passions coming to the forefront. Use this period to promote yourself and your ideas. The energy will work in your favor and there will be plenty of it. On April 19th, the Sun will enter the sign of Taurus. You might find yourself more focused on finances during this period, on resources and stability. After a turbulent and transformative period, the energy shifts to matters of income, material values, and comfort. This is a good time to build long-term financial plans. You will be seeking stability after the sharp changes at the beginning of the month. There may be profitable deals, offers, and even an improvement in your financial situation. It's time to think about the future and financial well-being. Right now, it's important not only to take action but also to conserve resources. On April 27, there will be a new moon again in Taurus. And this again will bring new financial opportunities, investments, and material prosperity. The new moon in your second house, which represents income and material values, opens a new cycle in finances. It's a good time to start a project that will bring in money. It's also a good time to review your earning strategies, maybe even look for new sources of income. Write down your financial goals for the next 6 months. The new moon in the second house can help you achieve them. So let's summarize what Aries can expect in the second half of April. On April 12th, when the Sun conjoins Chiron, this is about healing old wounds and working on self-esteem. On April 13th, there will be a full moon in Libra, marking a culmination in partnerships and an awareness of values and relationships. On April 14th, Saturn conjoins the North Node, karmic testing, the completion of deep issues. April 16th, Mercury enters Aries. Clarity in words, determination, new ideas. April 8th, Mars enters the sign of Leo. Active growth, passion, the desire to make a statement. April 19th, the Sun enters Taurus. Focus on finances, building stability. And finally, on April 27th, there's a new moon in Taurus, marking the start of a new phase of financial prosperity. So, make the most of April's energy, overcome your inner limitations, take action. Don't be afraid of structural changes, set your financial goals. The energy of Taurus will help you achieve them. And of course, subscribe. To not miss new videos, give this video a thumbs up and we'll see you next month.